Okay, hi, this is Chris again, and this is my very first episode with somebody else. The point of my trip, as I mentioned in my introduction, around the country is to the stories of people you meet along the way. And I met this gentleman here where I'm camping out at Dry Canyon here in Utah, free camping out there, and guy's got a really interesting story, and we're hiking up to Fifth Water Hot Springs together, and beautiful hot springs. It's about a 3.5 mile hike up the ridge here, and they're all natural hot springs. And along the way, I just thought I'd stop and get my first episode, my first interview here with Darm. And Darm, tell us your story, man. Where are you from and all that good stuff?
Sure, yeah. So I'm Darm. I'm based out of Columbus, Ohio. I'm on a cross-country trip. Went to California, did the historic Route 66, and I'm traveling back to Ohio. So here I am camped in Utah, this is central Utah, on my way to Salt Lake City. I did Zion, Bryce Canyon, Death Valley National Park, driving my old Oldsmobile Alero 2002. Car is holding up, and then I met you on the way, and yeah, I'm excited. This is the first time I'm going to a hot springs, and that's the story. I'm taking a break from work since mid-April, and I'm using this time to see the country, also meet people, try to camp, and do things that kind of feed the soul. That's the idea. Back to you, Chris.
Well, thanks about it. Just give us some background on us. Where are you from? I mean,
sure, yeah.
All that good stuff.
Yep, I was born and raised in India, grew up there. Came to America in 2000, late 2000s. So I've been here about 19 years. Came for grad school at Texas A&M, and then started working here. I still travel back to India every year, but I love the opportunity to live here and travel and see this great country.
Well, that's great. And so, where are you headed from? Here we're in just out of Spanish Fork, Utah, up in Diamond, and particularly Dry Canyon, where we're camping. Where are you headed out here? What's your next stop? Where are you going?
My next stop is Salt Lake City. I always want to go to Salt Lake City and see some of the stuff there. I'm interested a little bit in the Mormon culture and how they came here and settled. After that, my next big spot is going to be, my next destination is going to be Wyoming, Yellowstone, but the Teton National Park. So Wyoming, then South Dakota, Mount Rushmore, Badlands, and then possibly from there I'll go home, Iowa, and then I guess Illinois, Ohio. But I'm open. I don't have a deadline to go home. I'm looking at another 3 weeks of travel, so if something comes up, like you said, Montana, maybe I'll do the Glacier National Park in Montana. That's the plan.
Okay, so where you were working at before there in Columbus, how long were you there before you took off on this venture?
I lived in Columbus for almost 13 years. Came in 2006, pretty much lived there, but my job is a traveling job. I'm an IT consultant, so I traveled a lot, almost every week. Fly out to different parts, but my base has been Columbus, Ohio for the past 13 years.
No, that's fantastic. So how you been, you travel on the road, have you been camping out the whole way? Just how are you maintaining yourself?
Great question. I had no intention of camping in this trip. I've never camped. So the idea was to just do a road trip and see places and do Airbnb. So that's what I did. I used Airbnb, met many people that way, great hosts. So I did Airbnb in Missouri, in a rural setting, then in Oklahoma. That was more an urban Oklahoma City. After that in New Mexico, Arizona, I may get it wrong, but Amarillo, Texas. So it's all Airbnb. Only in the last 3-4 days in Zion National Park, Bryce, I started camping. I bought a tent on the way, started camping, learning it. I lost a tent on the second night. I forgot to stake it. It flew into the river, bought the second tent. So I'm learning. I'm a camping rookie, but I've learned a bit. I still haven't cooked in outdoors. I'm still eating canned food if I camp, and cabbage salad and stuff. But I have learned camping, I think, by trial and error. and I hope to camp a little more on my way if I get a campsite. I plan to camp more.
Well, that's really neat. I mean, so you're playing it by ear.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, you may just switch your course, just depending on what you hear about. And you don't really, it doesn't sound like you have like a time that you have to be back specifically. So how's it feel like that, just to be able to go out and see the country without a particular end date?
No, it's nice. This was a dream. I had this for 10+ years, and finally that I get to do this. So it's interesting just to be open-ended and no constraints, can go home anytime. Yeah, it's amazing. I think I'll be a different person when I go back to Columbus.
Oh, great, fantastic. Well, I can certainly appreciate you, as you guys mentioned, I mentioned on my intro here, pretty much what I'm doing, playing it by ear, traveling around the country and no end time, and meeting great folks along the way like Darm. And Darm and I are gonna take a hike up the 5th level, the hot springs, about 3.5 miles. Hike, we're right at the inception, the beginning. As you can see, it is really spectacular up here, this trip. It's an incredible cascading river the whole way, and some incredible views. May meet some other folks along the way up there, and we'll just tune in to Darm and I, or to Darm and me, once I get up to the hot springs up there. So this is my very first episode, and I appreciate having such a spectacular person I met here like Darm to get for my kickoff.
And good luck to you, Chris, on your trip. I'm sure it's going to be great. You'll meet great people on the way. And thanks for interviewing me.
Well, if they're halfway as great as you, the trip will be a phenomenal success, Darm. Nice to meet you, sir. Appreciate
Good
you.
luck to you.
Thanks.
Okay.